Veganism. For some, it's the ultimate solution to environmental destruction. For others, it's a compassionate lifestyle choice that minimizes harm to animals. But to many, it's an unattainable ideal, a privilege reserved for those with the means to make it work. At first glance, the case for veganism seems clear. A diet that requires fewer resources, emits fewer greenhouse gases, and eliminates animal suffering. What's not to love? But as we dig deeper, we uncover layers of complexity, environmental trade-offs, cultural implications, economic barriers, and questions about who truly benefits. Today, we'll navigate these intricacies, exploring both the undeniable advantages of veganism and why, for billions around the world, it remains a privilege. Let's begin. Let's start with the numbers. The environmental argument for veganism is compelling. Consider this. It takes approximately 1,800 gallons of water to produce a single pound of beef. Meanwhile, growing a pound of lentils requires just 29 gallons. Similarly, livestock farming uses 80% of global agricultural land, but contributes only 18% of the world's calories. Greenhouse gas emissions tell a similar story. Methane from livestock accounts for about 15% of global emissions, more than the entire transportation sector. Switching to a plant-based diet could reduce agricultural emissions by as much as 70%. But veganism isn't just about emissions and water use. It's also about protecting biodiversity. Vast swaths of rainforest are cleared each year for cattle ranching and to grow soy, most of which is fed to livestock, not humans. Choosing plant-based diets could free up land, allowing ecosystems to recover and species to thrive. The environmental advantages of veganism are undeniable, but the conversation doesn't end here. Beyond the environment, veganism carries a profound ethical appeal. Each year, billions of animals are raised and slaughtered in industrial farming systems. For many vegans, the decision to stop consuming animal products is a moral one, rejecting the suffering and exploitation of sentient beings. It's not just about what we eat, but how we view our relationship with other species. Advocates argue that as we evolve morally, we should extend compassion to animals, much like past societies have expanded rights to marginalized human groups. This ethical framework is powerful. It challenges us to rethink our role in the food chain and to recognize animals not as resources, but as beings with intrinsic value. But here's where the conversation shifts. Not everyone has the luxury to choose veganism. To understand this, we must examine privilege through 4 key lenses: geography, economics, culture, and education. First, geography. Veganism is often more accessible in urban centers, particularly in wealthier countries. Supermarkets stock plant-based meats, cafes offer oat lattes, and health food stores sell vegan supplements. But step into rural areas or developing nations, and the story changes. In many parts of the world, vegan staples like quinoa, tofu, or almond milk are unavailable or prohibitively expensive. Here, diets are shaped by necessity, not choice. Meat, eggs, and dairy often serve as affordable, calorie-dense sources of nutrition. Suggesting that people in these areas just eat vegan ignores the realities of food insecurity and limited access to fresh produce. Then there's economic privilege. While basic vegan foods like beans, rice, and vegetables are affordable, veganism often leans on substitutes and specialty items. Think plant-based burgers, dairy-free cheeses, and protein powders. These products often carry hefty price tags. Even staples like almond milk and nuts can be out of reach for those on tight budgets. And let's not forget supplements. Vitamin B12, essential for vegans, doesn't naturally occur in plant-based diets and must be supplemented, an additional cost for those already struggling financially. Economically, veganism is far more achievable for the affluent than it is for those living paycheck to paycheck. Food is deeply tied to culture, identity, and tradition. Across the world, meals reflect history and heritage, with animal products playing a central role in many cuisines. From Filipino lechon to Indian butter chicken, these dishes are more than just food. They're cultural touchstones. Suggesting a global shift to veganism risks erasing these traditions or imposing Western ideals on diverse communities. For indigenous peoples, whose diets are often shaped by sustainable hunting and fishing practices, veganism may not only be impractical, but also disrespectful to their way of life. Sustainability isn't just about changing what's on the plate. It's about honoring the diverse ways people interact with their environments. Finally, there's education. Successfully adopting a vegan diet requires nutritional knowledge, how to balance macronutrients, where to source protein, and which supplements are necessary to avoid deficiencies. For those with internet access and the time to research, this information is readily available. But for single parents working multiple jobs, rural communities with limited resources, or people without reliable internet, this knowledge gap can make veganism seem like an insurmountable challenge. Despite its challenges, veganism remains a powerful tool in the fight for sustainability. Reducing meat consumption, even partially, can significantly lower greenhouse gas emissions, conserve water, and reduce deforestation. But it's not just about the environment. Veganism also pushes society to confront uncomfortable truths about our food systems, challenging the ethics of factory farming and sparking innovation in plant-based alternatives. Flexitarian or reducitarian approaches, which encourage reducing but not eliminating animal products, offer a middle ground. These approaches acknowledge that while not everyone can go vegan, everyone can take steps to eat more sustainably. In the end, veganism isn't just about diet, it's about values. How do we create food systems that are ethical, sustainable, and accessible for all? The future of food lies not in absolutes, but in balance. It's about reducing harm where we can, supporting local and sustainable agriculture, and ensuring that everyone, regardless of their circumstances, has access to nutritious, environmentally friendly food. Sustainability isn't about perfection, it's about progress. And together, we can move toward a future that works for the planet, for animals, and for people. Thank you for joining this conversation. If this video made you think differently about food, sustainability, or privilege, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Together, we can create a better world, one meal at a time.